Hey, what's up everyone? The year is about halfway over already. I don't know where the hell the time went, but regardless, we've had a lot of good films. And let's just keep that trend going. Today I'm going to be talking about my review for Godzilla, the King of the Monsters. Godzilla King of the Monsters is a sequel to 2014's Godzilla film starring Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bryan Cranston. And this one picks up about 5 years later, coincidentally, just like in real life. This film was directed by Michael Dougherty. He brought us films like Trick or Treat and Krampus. So this film starts out much like Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice started out. I know, weird comparison, but in the beginning of this film, it takes place at the very end of the last film. All this crazy stuff is going down with the devastation of Godzilla and the Muto, and you see Vera Farmiga and Kyle Chandler's characters in this film. They're looking for their kid, trying to see if they can find him in all the wreckage. So that specific scene sets up their plot and their separate arcs from the movie. Like I said, fast forward 5 years and you're introduced to Millie Bobby Brown's character, who is Vera Farmiga's daughter in the film. She works for this company called Monarch, and what they do is, since 5 years have passed since the events of Godzilla, they want to study these titans. They want to see how they work, and just like you were hinted at in the trailers, there's more than just one Titan laying underneath the Earth's surface. There's a team of good guys in the film who are kind of wanting to coexist with these Titans, and there's the bad guys, the other side of the team, who wants to take these Titans down once and for all and just completely wipe them all off the board. At one point, a three-headed Alpha Titan is resurrected, and people realize there's no military force, no human power possible to stop this three-headed dragon. So who do they turn to? Yep. Godzilla. Okay, so I'll be the first one to admit, I was a little skeptical of this film. Seeing the trailers for this, it seemed like they went a little bit more of a cheesier route than the first film. They saw all these cinematic universes building up and they wanted to team up with King Kong, Godzilla, and have all these monsters all in one movie, and I thought it was going to be overcrowded and ridiculous, but they managed all these creatures very well. The one other thing I was very hesitant about with the trailers is it didn't seem to have a lot of connection with the previous film. The only really character I saw in the trailers that was in the previous films was Ken Watanabe's character from the first one. So what happened? They proved me wrong. Ken Watanabe was not the only character from the first film to come back for the sequel. There was a few others that I'll leave up to you to find out. And they did a very good job of referencing specific moments in the first one and taking a lot that was introduced into the first film and building upon it. Aaron Taylor Johnson, the main character from the first film, was nowhere to be seen in this one. I mean, he survived at the end. He was one of the main characters. He was the main character. Not shown at all in this film. Not mentioned. No nothing. Like, I can understand if his character doesn't fit in with this specific plot, this scope of a plot. But, I mean, you couldn't even mention him in the background like he's off some other part of the world fighting, or he's stationed at another base, or he's doing this, doing that. Nope, just nothing at all. All of the cast did a great job in this film. Kyle Chandler, Millie Bobby Brown, and Vera Farmiga. I was not expecting such a good arc with their characters, but they surprised me. I mean, really, who would have thought, with all these Titans being introduced, all this crazy action, you would actually get really in-depth characters. So as long as we're talking about things that are surprising me, the lore in this film, holy crap. So I've been a huge fan of Godzilla ever since I was little. The black and white films, the stop motion animation, all of those films, I was iffy on the 90s film, but the 2014 movie, the Netflix animated movies for Godzilla, I loved all of them. And to just see all the stuff that might have been referenced or talked about or even theorized about in some of these previous films, they actually bring into this movie. I was like, shit, they actually had time to put a decent amount of lore into this film and made it work. Bear McCreary does the musical score for this film, the orchestral soundtrack, and he did a fantastic job sort of mixing the old Godzilla theme we all know and love and just bringing it to a new audience. If you guys aren't familiar with Bear McCreary's work, he's done 10 Cloverfield Lane, Cloverfield Paradox, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the new God of War reboot game, which had a freaking amazing soundtrack. Another main thing I was worried about was overcrowding. You have, like they said in the trailers, 17 Titans, and in the trailers they showed King Ghidorah, Mothra, and a few others. So I will say this. There's about, besides Godzilla and King Ghidorah, there's about 2 Titans that actually get some decent screen time, and the other ones are just tossed to the side. There's 3 or 4 that are maybe shown in the background, not focused on too much, and the other 10 aren't even shown at all or mentioned. There's a scene where there's a map flashing by real quick, and maybe you can get a glimpse of one of the names on there. But other than that, there's a lot of Titans from previous Godzilla films that were just tossed in the background. And for a movie like this, I guess I understand that, but my favorite Titan was Gamera, and I didn't see him at all in this film. No name, no nothing, so I was kind of bummed at that, but what are you gonna do? That's just me playing favorites. I really thought that background characters were gonna have poor CGI. When there's a lot of creatures involved in a film, it's very hard to make them look unique and different, but the director did a great job. Mothra looked very unique and different. Godzilla, of course, will look different. King Ghidorah and the others actually really stood out from one another. They all had their own unique characteristics and traits, almost like a human character or actor. Negatives. You know what? The only really negative I would say is one of the characters in this film has what we call plot armor. For the sake of the plot, this character is left alive. Buildings thrown on top of this specific character, lightning slung at this character mere inches away, and they escape. But in previous scenes, when a building falls on someone, or lightning's even within 100 feet of a specific person, they're vaporized, they're done, they're toast. But like I said, for the sake of the plot, this character's kept alive. If you thought the 2014 Godzilla movie was just okay, I know a lot of people actually didn't like it because of the fact that Godzilla didn't show up till the end. You might have to wait a little bit in this film, but not nearly as much as you did as in the first film. I'd say about maybe a third of the way into the film, you're not going to be disappointed, guys. It seems like the director really took any of the negative comments about the first one to heart and just built off of it and improved it for the fans. The acting and the character arcs they did, even for the supporting cast in this film, was very well done. The special effects were top-notch, almost as good as Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, any type of Avengers film. It was that level of budget for these special effects. The creatures looked awesome. The fight scenes were so well done. You got to see each of these monsters' unique characteristics, and whatever type of powers they might have had in the first film, they totally built off it and just blew your mind with the shit they could do in this. The soundtrack was amazing by Bear McCreary, and I actually liked during the end credits they played the old, "Oh no, they say he's got to go, go, go Godzilla." The old song by Blue Oyster Cult, but this time around Serge Tankian is covering it. I enjoyed that. Like, there is some cheese in this film, but it's all good. Godzilla was always a little bit cheesy. Last but not least, pay attention during the end credits. There's not really a mid-credit scene per se, but the first portion of the credits, maybe throw in some teases, some names get thrown around, footage, newspaper clippings get flashed by when you see the names of the actors and whatnot. Like I said, just pay attention. And there is an after-credit scene. Fans of the animated Godzilla films and previous Godzilla films will probably know what's to come. People who haven't really done their research on Godzilla or aren't familiar with the lore or anything like that will probably just be like, huh? What the hell is that supposed to be? The only bad things were, like I said, I was a little disappointed that Aaron Taylor Johnson didn't really come back, and my favorite Titan, Gamera, didn't make an appearance, but I wouldn't really ding it too much for that. That's just some dumb fanboy shit that I have. And that one specific character having this plot armor that nothing really harms them kind of bothered me, but whatever. Definitely a kick-ass time in the movies and another fun summer blockbuster. Don't miss this one, guys. 9 out of 10.